Welcome to the tutorial Understanding Metrics Export in SMI BeGaze. SMI Experiment Suite is capable of gathering a tremendous amount of data through its customized eye tracking experiments. This data can be qualitatively and quantitatively analyzed in BeGaze. Moreover, data can also be extracted for further analysis to help researchers identify the metrics that matter through BeGaze Metrics Export. In this tutorial, you'll learn the benefits of using Metrics Export, the Metrics Export workflow, and how to take advantage of various exporting options. We'll start in BeGaze. I have a previously run experiment open. As you can see, this experiment has a number of participants with corresponding gaze data. From this experiment, I want to extract the fixations and saccades from all the participants on the AOIs. Let me show you how easily you can extract this information with the Metrics Export plugin. We'll go through the process using mostly the default options so you can get an overall sense of the workflow. Once I click Metrics Export, you can clearly see the 4 key steps to the workflow. I'll open the first one, select Template. I'll choose the Event Statistics template. Each template has a number of options. For this scenario, I want to get all the data, so I'll choose Single rather than either of the summary options. In Step 2, you select the data set by establishing various filters. I can filter the trials by stimulus name, trial name, or a previously chosen stimulus condition. I can further target my data by choosing one or more AOIs, or get data from all of them. There's a full range of data categories to choose from, and I can even limit my data channel to a specific eye. Now I'm ready to choose the metrics to export in Step 3. Many of the options are selected by default. You can quickly deselect any unnecessary metrics, like, for example, the participant's property, color. The final step in the workflow is to define your export options. I can export just the data derived during a specific duration or the full trial. Other options control the export format itself. To see an example of what data has been selected for export, click Preview. If you see a detail you'd rather exclude, you can make any necessary adjustments to any of the workflow options. Let's say I don't need the tracking ratio. I'll expand Select Metrics and then deselect Tracking Ratio. Now, when I click Preview again, that data column is not included. Once I'm ready, I can export the full data set to the clipboard or to a file by clicking Export. If I'm doing a great deal of exporting, I might want to save the operation to the queue until later. Finally, I can save this custom configuration for a metrics export as a favorite. Before I show you how that works, let's run through the workflow once again and make some further modifications for a more detailed look. Back at Step 1, we can choose a new template. If, for example, I plan to further analyze my exported metrics with a specific package from an SMI partner, I can expand Connected Statistics and choose one of the supported formats. Alternatively, if I wanted to work with the most information, I would choose Raw Data. Let's explore that scenario. Next, under Step 2 of the workflow, let's take a closer look at the available options. Let's imagine I want to analyze only the data relative to the target AOI in the stimulus condition, expressing competition with respect to shape. First, I'll filter the participants by name and include all participants. Then, I'll filter the trials, not by name as before, but by a stimulus condition, competition, which I can set by choosing Activate Filter. Now, let's focus on the shape by expanding Competition Conditions and deselecting all but Shape. Let's filter all the AOIs by name and then hone in on the target AOI by first expanding the selected list and then choosing Unselect All Visible. Since we want to get all the AOIs named Target, I can simply search for it. And once I see the entries, click Select All Visible. Finally, as before, we'll keep the data channel restricted to the right eye. In step 3, the full range of metrics are available. You can pick and choose which ones you'd like to include. To illustrate, I'll add all the position information with a single click. Finally, in step 4, I'll keep the existing export options and take a quick look at the data by clicking Preview. Looks great. I'm going to save this to the queue for a later export. And because I can see myself possibly running this export operation again, I'll store it as a favorite. Now, if I should return to step 1 and look under Favorites, I'll find this template configuration available to me. Apply this custom template on a new set of data exactly, or use it as a foundation for a new set of criteria and further customize as needed. In this tutorial, you learned how to use the BeGaze Metrics Export plugin to extract custom data for further analysis. You saw how you can customize the 4 key workflow steps. Select Template, select Dataset, select Metrics, and select Export Options. SMI Metrics Export makes it possible to retrieve a customized data set from an SMI experiment in a specified format, so you can perform faster, more efficient analysis.